Conrad Hawley was running a little bit late for our scheduled interview. He was stuck at an auto repair shop but messaged me and promised he would be home soon. Naturally, I had to ask what was going on with his car. Let's just say it was animal related.
I did not hit the deer. The deer hit me. I was slowing down. I saw him coming. He just ran right into my tire. And so it messed up some plastic fender in there. So I had to get that fixed.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, deer don't have car insurance. Conrad wasn't fazed by the accident. He's unflappable.
Every time something hard comes your way, you should be like, heck yeah, let's go. I'm getting back on the horse. This is a blessing. I'm only going to get better, tougher, stronger. I'm only going to improve.
And that didn't surprise me one bit.
This is the Big Stories Podcast, where we tell the amazing and inspiring stories from across the Big 12 Conference.
I'm Cleon Wall. Big Stories producer Chase Davidson came up with a great idea. Reach out to Conrad and have him share his journey to Iowa State, where he became Cyclone Basketball's CEO. That's Chief Energy Officer.
My job is to be the best energy guy, the best teammate.
But Chase is fairly new to the team, and he didn't realize we had already told Conrad's amazing story of how he gave up a football scholarship at the University of Kansas to be a walk-on basketball player for the Cyclones.
If you would ask me 2 years ago where I'd be, the last place on earth I would think is in Ames, Iowa, playing basketball.
That's a clip from the Big Stories episode, Iowa State, the Cyclones CEO, which dropped in January 2024. If you haven't heard it yet, go back and give it a listen. So why are we talking to Conrad again? Well, I wanted to find out what happened to the former Chief Energy Officer since we last spoke in 2023. I also wanted to dig deeper into what makes him such a high-energy, high-character guy. And with a little help from his dad, Adam Hawley, I got those answers. Let's dive in.
I would say that Conrad was always a different kid. You could tell when he was 2 years old that he was just a little bit different than the other kids. He was bigger than most.
Which makes sense. Adam also played college basketball.
His mom and I were both college athletes, Division II out at Fort Hays State in Western Kansas. So when he was little, we wanted to expose him to everything. And he thought he was going to be a skateboarder for a while. And I was a little bit nervous about that one. But he's always had a ball in his hand.
Conrad's parents were doing more than just teaching him about sports.
Life begins when it's not about yourself and it's about pouring into other people. And, I've been teaching Conrad that same message since he was a little boy.
And Adam was determined not to raise a showboat or entitled kid on the basketball court or football field.
The thing that was most important to me when we were playing sports was not how well he did, but did you give your best and were you a good teammate and a good leader? And when I got on him, which wasn't that often, but when I did get on him, it was because of those things. I'll tell you one story about him being young. It was during basketball, and he thought he was Steph Curry out there, and he couldn't have been, I don't know, maybe seventh grade or something like that. And I left at halftime, and he came out, and he's, "Where's my dad? Where's my dad?" And he got home and said, "Dad, why'd you leave?" And I said, "I've got better things to do than watch you not try." And I think that was a pretty impactful moment for him.
The lessons on leadership started to sink in during Conrad's high school years. As the starting quarterback at Raymore Peculiar High School, he refused to let the COVID-19 pandemic derail the Panthers' shot at a Missouri state title.
That summer, and then into the fall, before they could do any kind of team-oriented stuff for football, the entire city of Kansas City was shut down. But he would call meetings and say, "We're going to go practice on this field today." He was practicing with his team and learning the playbook and kind of demanding that high energy and winning mentality on their own without coaches involved or anything like that. That's when he really started to say, okay, this kid, he might be serious about this stuff.
At the same time, Conrad found himself growing tired of the very sport that was supposed to secure his future.
he said, "Dad, I've been doing this for everyone else but myself for too long. And I knew before my senior season of high school that I wasn't sure if I wanted to play in college anymore."
That's why he quit the Kansas football team after one season as a backup quarterback on the Jayhawks sidelines.
Never in a million years did I think he would leave KU football and wind up at Iowa State on the basketball team. So funny how life works out sometimes.
Again, you can hear the full story of Conrad's transition to Iowa State walk-on basketball player from our Season 1 episode. Now, if this were a Hollywood script, the ending would be perfect. Conrad earns a scholarship, becomes a key starter, and tips in the game-winning basket in the Big 12 championship, or even the NCAA tournament. But real life doesn't always follow the script.
I never got a scholarship.
And Conrad didn't see much more time on the court either.
I was never shocked that I wasn't going into the game because, again, I was worst player.
He is a confident young man, but he is very self-aware, which I think is a great trait in a leader. And he knows that he's not only the worst player on Iowa State's team, but probably the worst player in the Big 12 by far.
At least he still had his primary role heading into his final season.
I was still the chief energy officer, but definitely expected to be more of a vocal leader, be more of a guy to set the example, and just be a better senior leader.
There was only one thing that could hold him back from reaching his full potential: his bum shoulder. Conrad had gone through a rehab to get ready for his senior season when he received a warning from the team's trainer.
When the trainer was like, "Look, this thing has like 3 months left. If it doesn't come out again for 3 months, statistically, it shouldn't come out again throughout your life." And then, first game, I go in to stick my arm in for a steal. The dude kind of just clamped down on it, and chicken wing, they just popped right away. And so, yeah, torn labrum, had some fractured stuff in there, and they needed to get it fixed up.
It was a punch in the gut, for sure. And ironically, it ended my senior season, too.
I mean, I was definitely just frustrated. And I mean, I didn't want to get surgery, and I knew that I would miss out on a lot of stuff. I knew that it's different when you're playing and you're practicing every day, and when you're on the sidelines, it's a whole different vibe.
I tried to explain to him that you're going to go through this. It's going to be hard. And the work that you're about to do, you have to mentally prepare yourself to recover from it. And that's really all you can do, because it's going to be hard.
Probably cried 5 or 10 minutes just due to being mad. And then after that, I was like, okay, I can look at this, one of two ways. I'm going to pick a positive way that's going to get me better. And so that's how I try to handle it.
I'll never forget it, Cleon. Post-op, I haven't even seen him yet. He's still in recovery. And I get to see him. I take him out of the hospital, and we got to go to the pharmacy to get his prescriptions. And he says, "What time is it?" And I say, "It's 4:30. He's been awake for 20 minutes. And he says, "Drop me off. I'm going to go in and talk to the boys." So he gets up and he stumbles his way, and he's still got, anesthesia inside of him. And he walks in and says a few words to the boys, says, "I'm going to be all right." And then he went home after that. I mean, it's just, again, how many people do that? It's pretty rare.
As Conrad rehabbed his shoulder, he realized something else had to change: his approach to leadership.
I was a really loud yeller, and I think a lot of that was I wanted to be seen, and I wanted to be praised by my coaches and my teammates. And I figured, if I'm the loudest guy, then everybody will know I'm here. And my senior year, I tried to take a more quiet approach and maybe just grabbing a guy, pulling him to the side, talking to him, asking coach a small question.
He had to kind of meet with some of them one-on-one and say, "How do you want me to help lead you?" And had one-on-one individual conversation with them. And that, I think, was really mature of him to be able to do that and have those conversations and then learn and adapt through that, because, you still have to be the energy guy, but maybe it's not yelling and screaming every single second.
And when you're hurt, you haven't really built up that voice to be able to be the one who's vocally calling people out, because, nobody likes a leader who, "Oh, hey, you're not out here doing it with us. So who are you to yell at me and hold me accountable? You don't even do it with me." And so it was interesting to be able to learn that lesson and then still try to find a way to just support them. Their coaches hold them accountable and push them. Their family holds them accountable, pushes them, has expectations. And then the fans expect perfection, which is okay. That's what fans should expect. So who is there to have their back? Well, it's either their girlfriend or me. And so I was trying to have their back as much as I could.
Conrad's shoulder was slowly improving, but he wasn't expected to fully recover until a year after surgery. Waiting that long wasn't an option.
I was probably able to make it back to practice towards the later part of the Big 12 conference play season. But I wasn't allowed to play physically. But I mean, I could do some scout team stuff or some walkthrough stuff, which I enjoyed being a part of. So yeah, just got back then and then would try to sneak into games as much as I could. Sometimes our trainer, Vic Miller, wouldn't be too happy with me, but I enjoyed it.
There was no sneaking into the NCAA tournament game against Lipscomb. Coach TJ Otzelberger put Conrad in twice, once in the first half of the Cyclones' 82-55 victory.
Just the fact that Coach put me in was really nice of him, and I appreciate him for that. Anytime you get to go to a chance to go to the tournament and you get to win a game is a special, special thing. And so, getting there and then winning a game and experiencing that with my friends and some teammates who've never done that before was really cool.
In the very next round, the Cyclones were knocked out of the tournament. And just like that, Conrad's college basketball career was over.
I mean, I was definitely very emotional. I mean, every year, guys, it would be their last game and you just don't see them again. And so I knew that was kind of coming from me, and I knew that I was transitioning into adulthood, really. And so, that was going to have its own set of challenges.
Conrad had already started adulting while he was in college. He found out that he liked to motivate people through public speaking.
I appreciate getting to tell a story and serve people in that way. It's just something I feel like I'm good at.
What was your first presentation like, and how did that go for you?
Oh, man, my first presentation was to the Ames High baseball team in 2024 in the spring. And it was about 5 minutes long. I had no idea. I've never done it before. And so I just went in there and just talked for 5 minutes, and it felt like forever. And I thought I did really good. And then I go back and I look at the video now, it was horrible. But yeah, that was my first one. And since then I've probably done, 30 or 40. And so I really appreciate it. And it's always a blast.
One of those speaking engagements was to members of the University of Kansas football team.
I reached out to the strength coach, Matt Gildersleeve, who I look up to him a lot. And he was like, hey, I'm willing to give you this chance because I appreciated and I respected the man you were when you were here. So I went in there and I was so nervous because, the last time I was in that building, I was crying in his office because I was quitting football. I was having an identity change and I had no idea what my life was going to look like after that. And so to come back full circle and then speak to teammates and have teammates come up to me who are still playing football at Kansas now, they would come up to me and be like, honestly, when you came in to speak today, we had no idea what you're going to talk about because we knew you to be this man. But to see that you're this man and you share your story this way, we really appreciated it.
Conrad is also marketing himself as a private coach for young football and basketball players in the Kansas City area.
We do real life, real game scenarios, the basic stuff, the best we can. Because the way I view it is if Tiger Woods has won 15 majors and he still putts 500 three-footers a day, then you need to be doing form shooting every single day, basic ball handling every single day. And then I believe playing hard is a skill, being a good teammate is a skill, and being a relentless competitor who handles situations with, hell yeah, bring it on. That's a skill. It won in the 90s, it'll win today, it'll win in 30 years from now.
I decided to play devil's advocate and ask Conrad a tough question. Why should anyone trust him to coach their young football or basketball player when he quit football after his freshman year at Kansas and barely saw the court for the Cyclones?
No matter where the kid's at, they have not gone to that level in either one. And that is not a braggadocious thing. Have you played Big 12 football as a quarterback, whether you played or no? No, you haven't. Have you ever played Big 12 basketball and won a Big 12 championship, no matter if you're the worst player on the team? No, you haven't. Hey, I've done both of those things. I've seen what it took me to get there. And in this present day, can I still whoop your butt? Absolutely. And that's just a joke. So that is why somebody should choose me over the next person.
Adam Hawley told me he could name 30 or 40 moments that make him a proud dad. But I pushed for just one. What makes him most proud of Conrad?
I would say just the man he is becoming. And let me take that back. The man he is, he's earned the right to carry that card. And, it's not that he doesn't have room for growth, because we all do, and hopefully we never stop. But he has really become someone that you can depend on, someone that knows the value of pouring into others and understands his gifts, but not in a arrogant way, but in I owe it to the world to give back for the blessings that have been given to me. And I owe my talents to pour on other people.
So what's next for Conrad? It might sound cliche, but honestly, the sky's the limit. Of all the things that you're involved with now, whether it's motivational speaking or coaching or things like that, what's your favorite part of all of that?
Oh, serving people. I mean, getting to see somebody figure something out, build new confidence. I got to talk to a young lady who was visibly nervous to ask me a question about anxiety, and I got to give her a good answer on anxiety. And to watch her light up and just watch her stress sink in that moment, and none of that has to do anything with money.
I wrote him a letter when he was done with basketball, and I ended it with, I don't think this is the last time they're going to call you CEO. I think he's got the potential to be a really good leader in whatever he does in life.
When I interviewed Conrad back in 2023, he admitted he wasn't a fan of the title Chief Energy Officer. But the truth is, that's exactly who he is. A burst of energy, always looking for ways to lift everyone around him.
I would just like to leave people with something that I love to think myself, and I love to tell people, is you've made it through every hard day so far. A lot of people get so worried about their problems. They glorify them. Sometimes we invent our own problems. We talk to people about, oh, my life is so hard. Well, if you've been through 10,000 hard things in your life where you're like, man, no way I can get through this, and you've got through it 10,000 times because you're still here breathing, then every time something hard comes your way, you should be like, heck yeah, let's go. I'm getting back on the horse. This is a blessing. I'm only going to get better, tougher, stronger. I'm only going to improve. And so I like to leave people with that. It normally resonates with people a lot. I know it resonated with me a lot because once I heard that, I was like, you know what, you're right. I've been through every hard day. And the day that I don't wake up, I know that I'll have loved people hard enough and I'll have done enough good to where maybe they might appreciate me. It's all that matters.
James Collin, BYU's post-production department, provided sound design and music for this episode. Thanks for listening to Big Stories, and we'd love to hear from you. You can leave us a rating or review on your favorite podcast platform, or just email me at cleon.wall@byu.edu. I'm the aforementioned Cleon Wall, and we will return soon with more big stories from around the Big 12. Big Stories is a production of BYU Radio.